Hello, and welcome to another installment of the AMSOIL Information Series. I'm Rob Stenberg. In 1972, AMSOIL introduced the first synthetic motor oil to pass the service requirements of the American Petroleum Institute. Since then, virtually every lubricant manufacturer has introduced a synthetic motor oil of their own. And today, synthetic motor oils are everywhere. Vehicle manufacturers are recommending or requiring the use of synthetic motor oils in their vehicles. But what exactly is synthetic motor oil? Well, for the answer to that question, we went to the experts.
The biggest difference between a conventional lubricant and synthetic lubricant is basically where they come from. Conventional oils are obtained through the distillation of crude oil. Synthetics, on the other hand, are chemically engineered and basically man-made.
In a mineral oil, you get a lot of undesirables. You've got hydrocarbons that aren't refined, you get gases, you get waxes, you get things that don't have any real true beneficial lubricating qualities to them. Whereas with the AMSOIL synthetics, what you get is what you pay for, a lubricating product that's been designed in the lab to deliver performance at a prescribed type setting, so to speak.
I am here with Linda Cadott of Courtesy Cab here in Superior, Wisconsin. Linda, we really appreciate your business, being a customer of ours. If you could briefly just give us a little background on the company.
The company was started in 2000 by three gentlemen, and myself and two other people bought the company in 2001. We started with 3 taxis, and we were up to 6 taxis until the economy went a little bit south about a year and a half ago, but we run a fleet of 4 taxis here in Superior, and we're lucky enough to be using AMSOIL products in them.
Talk a little bit about the testing, the protocol, what went into it. You said, of course, that you were initially skeptical, so obviously you had your eyes open to the benefits of a synthetic, but like you say, it was probably a tough decision at first.
It was. We were a little nervous about testing new products for AMSOIL too. But Darren Wallace is the representative that we work with, and he does an excellent job of providing us data and giving us the confidence to go ahead with the program. We've been very successful. We have improved our performance, our engine performance dramatically by using AMSOIL. What we do to our vehicles is very difficult for the vehicle. We run about a 1/4 idle time and about 3/4 town driving, all stop and go, in all kinds of weather. And there are times that our engines aren't shut off for 48 hours at a time, and that's when it's 20 below or 90 above. We do difficult things to vehicles. But we have had excellent results with AMSOIL. We have only had to have one engine partially rebuilt during these 4 years, and that was probably due to not such a good engine, not due to AMSOIL product.
You had mentioned that you initially had a petroleum product in there. You were changing oil probably every 2,000 miles. What did AMSOIL, with the oil analysis and the program, the testing program, allow you to extend your drain interval to?
Yes, even as a regular non-taxi company, we always change our oil about 3,000 miles. Because of the hardware that goes into our engines, we were changing it every 2,000 miles. That's an amazing maintenance factor right there, to not have to pull these vehicles off the road and have the maintenance done on them and be paying for the maintenance man to do the maintenance is a huge cost savings. They tell us when to change our oil, and there have been times that we have not changed our oil for 22,000 miles. And that's, even at that time, it wasn't in any, our engines certainly weren't in any danger. So that's just an amazing thing as far as I'm considered.
Well, clearly one of the most effective pieces of literature that AMSOIL has is the G2244. That is the gasoline engine case study with Guardian Pest Solutions. I'm with the president of Guardian Pest Solutions, Jason Wick. Jason, AMSOIL certainly appreciates your business. Briefly tell us a little bit about your company.
Well, we're a family-owned and operated business. We've been in business since 1966. We're second generation. We cover a geographic scope of the entire upper Midwest, and we have 80 trucks in our fleet.
What are some of the issues that you deal with that you really need solutions for?
Well, clearly, Maintenance of the vehicles is a very difficult thing based on our geographic scope of area. It's difficult to get our trucks into our warehouse to have them serviced. So if we can limit the amount of service that we do to the trucks, it's very beneficial to us.
A lot of our dealers are familiar with the piece of literature I just spoke of, and in that piece of literature there's some very detailed information about the amount of money you save in stretching your maintenance schedule, the cost of ownership of a vehicle, and these things. Discuss some of the benefits that AMSOIL has provided Guardian Pest Solutions.
Well, like I said, it's difficult to get our trucks in for service, so if we can limit the amount of times that they come in for service, it's going to save us money. We travel a lot of miles every year. Last year, in 2009, we put on about 1.8 million miles. So to do oil changes every 3,000 miles is very inconvenient, and by limiting the amount of oil changes we do, it's going to save us money by bringing our trucks back to the warehouse to have them serviced in fuel alone, and then it's going to save on the oil change intervals. We're saving money. So it's a huge cost savings.
Unlike some of our commercial account customers, you really didn't need to test AMSOIL. You were sold on AMSOIL before. Tell us a little bit about how you became a proponent of synthetics and how you translated that into the business.
Well, I started using them in my personal vehicles, and after I saw the benefits of the product in my personal vehicles, we switched it over to our entire fleet. So thereby saving money and having a better product.
As we all know, Jason, up here in northern Minnesota and in the upper Midwest, conditions are pretty tough out there. Certainly, severe driving conditions is the norm rather than the exception when it comes to your fleet.
Absolutely. Most of our fleet is parked outside all winter long. At least 90% of our fleet is outside. So it's very important for us that the trucks start in the morning, and AMSOIL provides that for us with cold weather starts.
Short of giving us actual numbers and money that you save per vehicle and things like that, overall though, what are some of the ways that you have clearly saved as a result of using AMSOIL? It's been a positive impact to your company's bottom line.
I think we're saving on oil change intervals for sure. We're also saving. Our fuel economy has increased, so that's a huge savings. We put on, like I said, 1.8 million miles last year. We bought 111,000 gallons of fuel. That's from gasoline to diesel fuel. So with those, when you take that into consideration, any little bit of fuel economy that we can increase is going to save us on our bottom line.
I'm here with Chuck Blasko, the owner of Nordic Waste here in the Twin Ports, and a guy who was instrumental in helping AMSOIL develop this very valuable sales tool. I'm sure many of you are aware of it, the Refuse Hauler Fleet Field Study. Chuck, tell us a little bit about the operation, first of all.
Sure, thank you. Nordic Waste is a startup company within the last 5 years, and we started essentially with one truck, and we've worked our way up now to a 10-truck fleet. And we service the Twin Ports area, which is here in Duluth and Superior, Wisconsin.
So in comparison, this is a small fleet. I also understand, though, that you do have some experience with larger fleets prior to coming here.
Yes, I have. Our company is not what I would consider a large company, but my past experience is, up to over 100 trucks with a large firm.
An operation like this, what are the primary sticking points, if you will, the problems that you and a company like this would primarily want to have solved?
Well, with regard to operationally, it would be the serviceability of our customers. Having a small fleet doesn't allow us to have a lot of spare trucks, or our frontline trucks need to be in the field all the time, with the drivers, et cetera. So, we have to be out there on a constant basis to provide the service.
Well, Chuck, trucks like this are certainly, needless to say, in a severe service environment. And what are some of the problems that you endure and that you're hoping to help solve?
Well, most people may not know about Duluth, Minnesota, but it is obviously in northern Minnesota where you have a lot of severe cold weather, in addition to the snow. Accompanied with, ironically, warm and hot summers. Another thing about Duluth, which is probably a little bit unique for a Midwestern city, is there's a very acute and extreme hillsides. So the trucks are traveling up and down hills and then through alleys and things like that. So the terrain is actually fairly rigorous. So that's one thing that we have to deal with here.
And the product, of course, that you're using is our 15W40 diesel oil. It's I know you've done some testing with it. What was the company looking for when you developed the test and got going with that?
Well, first and foremost, the most important thing for us is to get started in the morning. Our trucks are outside, parked outside in a truck line, and the drivers come in at a very early hour, and they need to get the trucks and the dependability of the trucks on the road so they can provide the service. The one thing about the AMSOIL products that we're using, particularly the oil, is that it allows the trucks to turn over much more efficiently, and obviously that allows the truck to start. You know, so that's a very important thing to start our day. So,
let's talk a little bit about specifically how AMSOIL products have helped this company's bottom line.
The things that I have seen is, first of all, the number of oil changes because of the increased hours. We went from roughly a 300 to a 1,000 hour interval between oil changes. We have fewer oil changes, so there's less labor. We have one mechanic because of our 10-truck operation, and he has more time to spend on other things because he has fewer oil changes. There's obviously the reduced expense in oil product because we're buying less oil. And then the benefits of the oil that we have found kind of historically is that when oil changes were missed or postponed and hours ran into maybe 300, 400, 500 hours with the organic oils, is that you would lose the viscosity in the oil and there would be more wear and tear on the engine. This oil product does not break down after 1,000 hours. So if we're late by 100 hours or 200 hours, it does not have the same wear and tear on the engine that the other product had.